Hey, what's up, La Familia? You crazy football-loving nutters. This is Ray Hudson, and you are luxuriating in listening to the Inter Miami podcast with the stupefyingly magnificent Jay and Alex. Two lads who are as electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub. Stay tuned, because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be magisterial with an amplifier.
To the left, Pellegrini, inside, Pizarro Golazo, here's the goal scorer, Morgan, and he's done it again, Lewis Morgan with a second of the match. Higuain will have the goal, he's framed the top 90, it's a sensational first goal for Gonzalo Higuain.
You know, but I had the chance and I took it to see Tom Petty like a year and a half before he unfortunately passed away. And oddly enough, saw Stevie Nicks like a week before he passed away, bro. And I keep thinking of those two concerts because of this absolute free fall that Inter Miami is in, losing game after game, back on a losing streak and not letting up. And it's not going to get any easier. I don't know why, but that memory just keeps popping up in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand why. It seems like we're free falling, and there's no end in sight, really. This was one of those games I was hoping we would get back to normalcy, but unfortunately, we got back to the wrong normalcy at this point.
Do we have a normalcy?
Need to turn around quick.
Do we actually have like a normalcy? Do we have a reference point? Like, I guess where that 6-game streak would be our reference point?
No, unfortunately, my normalcy is how we started the season out. And we're just kind of like, we're here, but we're not really here. So, yeah, that would be my sense of normalcy. For the
we say it all the time, but welcome to the House of Pain. But welcome, everyone, to the Inter Miami podcast. Jay Kington here, joined by Mr. Than Harrington. Seems all of us are traveling quite a bit this month, so it's been very hard to coordinate, coming with a little bit of a awkward drop. We never do like to drop episodes on game day, but you know what the hell, why not? Let's give it a go. Give something short, sweet, so everyone can listen to it as they get ready for tomorrow's game. But getting back to it, man, and like, we didn't play that bad. Like, I was pleased with many aspects of this game. We're talking about the loss to the Portland Timbers, the 1-0 loss, but it's never tough. I mean, it's never easy taking these losses, and like the Atlanta game, just giving up that penalty. These are so close. Like, we have so many games where we're so close to either getting a draw or potentially winning, and it's just one of those situations where we fell short. And now it's crunch time, man. We only got 7 games left to play, and we are 8 points out of the playoff line. So it is literally now or never to start getting some dubs with the hopes of getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's kind of getting, like you said, to crunch time. Unfortunately, I mean, as much as I do, it's starting to look a little grim. Unfortunately, injury bugs are starting to take a hit. Our scoring isn't there. Our midfield's starting to fade out. I hate to say that we're packing it in, but with the teams we have coming up, man, it's just not looking good whatsoever.
It's tough. And somebody shared in the Facebook group, and
as you said, they look great playing against Portland.
But did you see the video someone shared in the Facebook group? And it was a compilation of goals we scored last year, and their whole thing was why can we not be this creative this year? I don't know if you saw that, but I watched it all, and they made a very, very valid point. Like, we were cheeky in our moments last year, but this has just seemed like...
Well, I would have to say that the creativity is pass up deep from the center back spot or pass from the midfield to Lewis and hope to God Lewis can do something. That's literally all we did. It's like we had this beautiful 24-pack of Crayola. Someone walked along and gave us a red crayon and a green crayon and took everything else and said, you can't do anything else. Don't try it.
Draw some Christmas pictures. Well, like the first 30 seconds, I was like, yo, like that the little cheeky Robbie backhill to Lewis to get a cross off. And, again, like it wasn't that bad of a performance, but given recent events, it just feels like an absolute dagger in our chest at the moment. And, we hate seeing losses, especially in must-win situations, but one thing that I was extremely happy with is our back line was back. This is probably the first time in 3 games we've had McCoon, Fagal, and LGP all back together due to yellow card accumulation. And I thought that they were holding it down. I mean, we played a very strong defensive game. We were just talking about it before we jumped on the podcast, the ridiculous stats of the goal scorer in this game. I mean, it's truly just remarkable what this individual can come on and do. It doesn't make sense, but hey, they've got that weapon now. And unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with some injury concerns. We're going to cover this a little bit later, but yeah, I mean, we're going into must-win situations, and we're going to have to string together a back line. It seems yet again, we're not going to have all 3 starters.
No, I mean, bring out the paper clips, the glue, the rubber bands, the bubble gum, something. We're going to have to get something back there to help prevent these goals, man. Hopefully Phil can get this right. We got an exciting player coming in on one of the emergency, hardship loans per se. So
don't spoil it.
See. Time will tell, right?
Don't spoil it yet.
I'm not.
We're gonna get there. But one of the things that pains me is again, and we mentioned it with that video of the compilation of goals from last year. Why is it so hard to be more creative? Why is it so hard to get open and make runs for whoever has the ball and then get your shots off and play that tiki-taka, play the quick passes, know where your teammates are? It seems like our players have no idea where any of the other players are on the pitch. And then you see some of these teams play where they can make almost blind passes like over their head to their team. It's just insane. I don't understand, who do we have to sign, or what do we need to implement to get some more creativity out of our players? Is it the fact we're playing several players out of position? Is it the fact we have one of our best players, if not arguably the best? I mean, he was MVP last year, Lewis Morgan, playing as a right wing back. Is it the fact we changed up our formation and we keep trying to do these tactical changes and get away from the 3-4-3 that worked, and then we went to a 3-4-1-2? I'm not honestly sure what it is, but man, it's like, it seems that every tweak we make, every attempt we make to change it, it just doesn't work out.
No, and unfortunately, I mean, it's a lot of hero ball right now. Somebody is trying to go and make something happen, throwing themselves out of position, not trying to find the flow, not trying to find the buildup, not trying to find, you said the tiki-taka passing. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, maybe I should probably get back on defense. And everybody's getting frustrated. I mean, I was texting you, thank God, throw my hands up in the air, Gonzalo's back. You know how much I love that. Looks like he's signaling for a field goal every 30 seconds out in the pit.
Yep.
But I don't know. I like I said, I think right now that's too many players trying to do the individual thing to spark the creativity, but it's not coming around for them like it should be.
I agree with you. It seems like this team kind of ebbs and flows from that just individualism, whatever that word may be, or maybe a few stars, trying to do it all on their own, and then we'll bring it back and play like a team and put together some beautiful, attacks and beautiful passes and really get it going. And then the next game, man, it's like we're just right back to where we were. It's like just when you think you're progressing, you just get pulled back, and it's very, very annoying. But I know you already have the stats up, so we will pass off Jay's game time stats to Mr. Than Harrington today. So hit us with the stats that stick out the most to you.
Well, first off, I'm honored. I'm so glad I get to host Jay's game time stats. I know this is like your pride and joy. I'm proud of this moment. I'm going to put this on my shelf next to my participation trophy.
I mean, this is information you cannot get on any other podcast.
So yeah, the big stat that stuck out to me is got to be from Yaroslav Niezgoda from Portland. The dude is a goal scoring machine. He was on the pitch for 22 seconds and scored a goal. And I want to revert back to what you were talking about finding the passes in open play. Blanco hit a hell of a ball to hit him on the run. It was gorgeous. I found myself clapping in my seat because it was such a beautiful football play. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even my team. I just all right, that was phenomenal. But the big stat would be for Nisgoda, 9 career goals on 14 shot attempts, with 11 of those on target. Yeah. That would be the outright stat.
That's I don't put that up against any. That's got to be best in the world. I've never heard a stat line that ridiculous. And to your point, I'm low key. I low key like the Timbers, and I really like Blanco. I think he's he's well known in the league, but I really think he's underrated in terms of the being considered one of the best players in the league. I feel like he's right on that cusp, but I really feel like he should be in there. When he's healthy, this team is very, very good.
Well, and that's the thing. He wasn't 100% healthy. There was a possible injury from the game prior, and then he ends up coming out and says, I got this with one leg. I can do this. He puts in a hell of a ball, and, that was it. The thing that I would like to also point out would be that we actually dominated, or we shouldn't dominated. We actually held our own in the possession battle. Mm-hmm. We actually had 51% of the possession. We actually, and I know by some grace of God, we only had 9 fouls compared to their 10. We put in 13 shots. It just wasn't our day. That's all I can say. It just wasn't our day. We missed some sitters. We missed some good ones. So,
and to be fair,
that's all I can say.
We had more shots on goal than they did. Right, 5-3, and passing this was kind of a 50-50 game, honestly. And I know there were a lot of fans that were pissed off about Carranza's header being called back and ruled a no goal because of the little push off. It's the same thing I think a lot of Americans experience with their fantasy football teams. They see those offensive pass interferences where they create separation with their arms, but it's not like a true push off, throw them to the ground. The defender went to the ground. This was very marginal. The issue here was that the ref called it. He already called it back. So if they were to, while reviewing it, it had to be something clear and obvious. And there just wasn't anything really clear and obvious in there to overturn the original ruling on the field. But this game very well could have ended in a draw, and we need every win we can get. We need those 3 points, but we would have very well been happy with just the 1 point. But here we are again, 7 games left, 8 points out. Do the math. Keep in mind we're playing most likely the Supporter Shield winners in the Revs, and probably most likely MLS Cup champions in the Revs, because no one seems to be able to slow them down. That's our final game. And that's going to be a very, very tough one to win. So let's just draw this back to 6 games to go, and we're 8 points out. That means we need to win about every single game, and we need our opposition to lose some games or draw some games. Otherwise, there's no possibility. I don't know what the actual statistic is here, but I would put us at a 6% chance to make the playoffs, if that. Just given the games we've dropped after hitting our form. And that kind of is what hurts the most, I think, to a lot of, La Familia, is that they streaked with that, after that 6-game losing streak, they streaked up with a solid 2 months of performances. And we had our unbeaten streak and everything, and everyone got their hopes up. But typical South Florida Miami team, man, they will get your hopes up and then they'll rip your heart out. And that's kind of what we're experiencing right now. But I know this is your boy, so let's get out of here. Let's. Do you have anything else you want to add? Okay, before we leave the bad news room.
I want to add one thing. I just took a look at what our chances are of making the playoffs, and they're a lot lower than your 9%.
I said 6. I said 6. And my second guess was 4. Am I still over?
Okay. Yes.
Wow.
We are at, and I quote, 1.4% chance of making the playoffs as of right now.
Wow. What did they give Leicester City in 2015 when they were 5,000 to 1 odds to win the Premier League? That's where we are.
Well, they had a Jamie Vardy. We
had a
don't.
Jamie. I hope if we're gonna take anyone old, I want Jamie Vardy. I feel like he would be bout it in the MLS. I would really love that. But tough loss regardless. It's looking more and more grim. What was it? 1%?
1.4.
1.4.
That's where we're at.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Well, you want to talk about there being a chance. Dallas has a 0.1%. So at least we're better than somebody.
Hey,
right.
And they have a Ricardo Pepe. So, hey, we'll take that.
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
My cheeks are literally hurting from smiling right now. But, yeah, so, we mentioned it earlier on. Great to see the back line back together. Probably not going to see them for this following game because we have multiple injuries we're dealing with. As many probably recall, Fagal was, subbed off for Leardom after picking up an injury. That is a right calf strain. No real update or timetable. He has not been ruled out of the game on Saturday. We also are dealing with Gibbs, who we just got back from an injury, dealing with a left hamstring strain. Our captain, our soul, Gregory, is dealing with a head issue, most likely concussion or something like that. Took a pretty hard hit on the head during the game. And then Victor Ulloa is still dealing with a right quad injury, which actually occurred during the Toronto game. So looks like he might still be out as well. But we do have a new signing, some good news. We've only been waiting 3/4 of the season for this to happen. But our boy, your boy, my boy, Alex's boy, the one we've been dying to see, Mr. Ame Mabika, has finally signed with the first team. Now, what are your expectations? If let's say 2 out of 4 of these players between Fagal, Gibbs, Gregory, and Ulloa cannot play, do you think Mabika gets a start? Do you think he gets subbed on? I know they've been trying to get him all the minutes he can in the USL. So
my concern with Mabika is not necessarily his ability to play. Obviously, he's tall as hell, but it's his build. He might get pushed around. I'm concerned that he'll get into a scrum in the box and he'll end up on the floor just because, yes, he is a big dude, but he's not necessarily, at least in my mind, a strong dude. He's USL strength ready. MLS is going to take him a little bit to get up to speed. With all that being said, I can see him coming off the bench. I don't think they'll throw him into a starting role that quickly. I could be wrong because it's pretty much batten down the hatches. Everybody get to their battle stations. Like, we got to go. But yeah, I would have to say off the bench at this point.
I'm not against it. As a, tall and slender dude myself, I take a little bit of offense to what you said. We're a little bit stronger than we get credit for, but it's hard not to stop flexing at me. You're an absolute mountain of a man. But how great, I mean, we obviously aren't great at set pieces. I don't know if we've scored from a corner this entire year. But how great would it be to see Breck Shea and Ame Mabika in the box receiving headers from hopefully someone that can deliver an accurate corner or cross into the box. But if you had both those dudes, like, I think he literally could be the Petter Crouch of the MLS. The dude is 6'4". He's quicker than you think too. I mean, he's not an attacker like Crouch, but I could see this dude easily. He might not even have to jump. He could probably just go up on his tippy toes to glance balls in.
Listen, if he does that, and you can hold me to this, if he does that, I will buy a Mabika jersey if he puts one in before the end of the season.
Okay. All right. I'm going to remember that. I am. I think there's a chance for it. I really do. I don't know who's been able to jump high enough to get over him. He is, when he's at behind us, dude, I was like, yo, he, like, you hear he's big, but like you see him in person and holy crap, that dude is huge. But moving on, did you sign up for the La Familia Wendy's FIFA tournament?
No. I did not. I did not want to put everybody else out. I was in the race to be Inter Miami's MLS, EMLS signing, and I bowed out just based other, time constraints. But no, jokes aside, I honestly did not. I wasn't sure which console I was going to get it on this year, and I know I broke your heart. But I went back home and went PlayStation.
Traitor. That's all right. I signed up, so I will hold it down for the Miami podcast and embarrass us all. But let's keep it moving forward. So, man, big game coming up on Saturday, 6:00, baby. Wendy's watch party, which I was honestly very confused about. Honestly, like I came back from the wedding and I was out of touch with reality for a good 4 days. And I saw you guys chatting. I was like, what did I miss? Like, why are people going to Wendy's to watch Inter Miami? And then that's when everyone updated me on what had happened. So whatever, guess you can't go get your junior bacon cheeseburger, watch the game. But hey, guess what? There's plenty of places to still turn up in South Florida, all over the place. Go to Fox and Hounds, go to Fritz and Friends, go to the Facebook group, see where people are going. We're going to have a good time regardless. But we do play what is kind of, I know like Atlanta's supposed to be our rival. I know Orlando's our rival, but for some reason, I'm really starting to dislike the Red Bulls. I don't know if it's because they've just mauled us several times or a couple times in the past with 4-0 in our first game, 4-1 in that most recent game. To be fair, we were coming off a pretty gnarly 4-game span in 11 days. The one shimmering moment we do have in this quote-unquote rivalry or series, to be, I guess, more correct, would be the 2-1 win over them. So no draws in this or anything like that. But this is a team that seems to be giving us trouble. And we have them again. And good news is we're going to be rested, at least have a day of rest. If I'm not mistaken, this is the game that Gonzalo nailed the free kick when we got the win over him, if I'm not mistaken. But strong. I don't want to play that one. No, that's not it. Oh, no, never mind. That's yeah, that is that one. Okay, very good. So tough game. Obviously, we have to win. Last result was pretty bad, but to be fair, they beat us 4-0 before, and we're going up to Red Bull Stadium. This was the game that was postponed due to a weather delay. That was kind of what we loved because we had 2 games in hand. This is going to officially catch us up on the schedule, so we will be in line with everyone else. We need to get a result here. Phil Neville said he has been basically hyping the team up to view this as a cup final, and basically every game from here on out as a cup final. What do you see? Like, what are going to be the biggest challenges we're going to have to deal with this team that seems to always give us some trouble?
Well, I mean, it's going to kind of be like little brother coming into your house. I mean, let's be honest. Like you already said, they've owned us. And I honestly would say that the best thing that happened in this rivalry or series of games was that weather delay, to be honest with you, because I did not feel comfortable. And when I saw the rain and storms coming through my way, I was like, all right, we might have a chance to not play this game and get a little bit of a rest. Now I'm kind of wishing we would have played it then. But, not to keep beating a dead horse, but I think the big thing we need to watch out for is the fact that we're going to have a jigsaw puzzle of a back line going. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I could come back and say if Mabika does get the start, I think they will do everything in their power to go after him and, expose a quote unquote weak link. And then, we just need to get the engine room going. If Gregory is out, my confidence in us getting points and a result from this game is going to be a lot less. I mean, I don't know what you're seeing or what you're thinking with that, but Gregory, when he's out in the field, he is, I've said it before, that like mad pit bull, like he's just all over everybody, getting in your face. Like he knocks you over. He's standing over you, walking over you like AI over Ty Lue, it just, I don't know.
Throwbacks. It's going to be a tough game. They're 2 points ahead of us. They completely absolutely destroyed us in front of some work friends I was with, which is, can be embarrassing at times. They are a high pressing team. And if we can't get settled in this game and we're flustered, if we're staying static around whoever has the ball, if we're not making runs to open up or running over to try and be an outlet, they can smother you. So it's very important that we come out, get established, get settled, get comfortable. This is going to be a game. If to win this game, I think we're going to have 100 to 200 more passes than they. And that stat is only relevant because keeping possession, staying calm, going with the easy passes, wear them out, find your openings, and then get on and get going when you do get your openings. But they're not an easy team. That I don't even know who that dude I can't remember his name, with the blonde hair that was running around like a madman. But Kamala is their leader. Also Gomez Neto right behind him. So Kamala 7, Gomez Neto 5, Caceres Jr. 4. And even Clark 4. Caden Clark. Has he even been playing? Did he play last game? I don't even remember. That dude's also another young American stud. This team has people that will put up goals on you, which, if you watch Inter Miami games, we kind of only have 3 people that will score goals on you.
Yeah, the other thing that's going to be going against us is Red Bull loves playing at home and loves playing well at home. Their home record's 5-5-3. Their away record's 4-2-8. So it's very clear that they are comfortable in their own environment. And, as everybody should be, take the hint, Inter Miami, just saying. I don't know, man. We're walking into a fortress with a slingshot, and they're coming at us fully loaded. We'll see. That's all I can say. We'll see at this point.
Well, I feel like that's all you can say about Inter Miami. It's very hard to predict games with Inter Miami. You never know if we're going to come out and really control the game, or if we're going to be get scored on and shoulders drop and the whole game's lost after that. They've played 27 games as have most teams. So they got 9 wins, 7 draws, 11 losses, 33.3% games won. That means they win a third of their games. What we do have, if we're going to keep it, probability wise or statistically wise, in our only 3 games we've played, we're kind of alternating. So we do have that going for us, which actually really means nothing at all other than a pattern. But, hey, we got to look for positivity again. This is going to be like a cup final. This is all desperation here. If we lose this, then it's basically done for at that point. If we go out and lose this game, after Red Bulls, we're going to play Columbus, which we won, but still Columbus, still Darlington Nagbe, still Giassi Zardes, still Zelarayan, still a stud team, still won the MLS Cup last year.
And to be fair, we only beat them by a sloppy chip from
yes.
Gonzalo.
Yeah, well, a sloppy back pass from, what was it, their left back, I believe that, yeah. So, kind of take that one as tried. But after that, we get Toronto and then Cincinnati, which are obviously very winnable games. I don't want to jinx us. And then we finish up. This is tough, man. Finish up with Atlanta, who honestly we should have at least drew. We gave up that penalty. Then we go to NYCFC, or we don't go there. They come here. So we're going up to Atlanta. Then NYCFC is coming down here, but we know how that went last time, and they're a very good team. And then, of course, we finish up in Boston with all the wicked smart people taking on the New England Revs in our final game of the season. I'll tell you what, if we can somehow have decision day relying on us beating the New England Revolutions, that's going to be a pretty bad situation. But if for some reason we can execute on that, that would make for an epic story in this very short history of Inter Miami, of this club, of this organization.
If decision day comes down to the Revs game, I will be there. I promise you I will be there, because it is going to be wild. I've always wanted to go up to see the house that Tom built, even though I cannot stand the Patriots. But it's going to be wild. It's going to be an atmosphere you don't want to miss. And, it's starting to get the same feeling like we talked about a while ago when we were talking about the new cup situation for all the different levels here in the United States. Mm-hmm. It's starting to gain that feeling like decision day is a big day. People look forward to it. People are getting wild. So if I can be there, I might try to talk to your significant other and see if you can be there, and we'll go have a good time.
I've already hyped it up with, I spoke with, some leadership of Vice City, and we're gonna hype up this day, and this was at Miss Q's after a game, so we were obviously feeling really, really good, really, really great. I definitely committed to that, and then I came home only to realize what day the game is, and it's the day after Chloe's birthday. So I doubt she wants to, watch Inter Miami on her birthday weekend or anything like that, because she's kind of consumed with it. But I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to convince her, hey, trip up to Boston. We'll see what happens. But it'll be fun regardless, man. If we can get to that, it'd be amazing. Decision day last year was something special with that Mikey Ambrose deep ball and the hurricane rain moving sideways. These are good times. I mean, it really is, because you win that game, you're checking your phone, you're checking the board for the other scores. Like we had to have 2 out of 3 teams do something particular to do it, and it happened. But we'll see, man. Here we are. There's nothing else to say. There's really nothing else to speculate. It is do or die, and we're gonna know literally probably after this game if we are less than 1.4% or if we somehow creeped up to maybe 4.2%. But we'll know one way or the other. Anything else you want to say, buddy?
No, I mean, like you said, do or die, got to get it done. There's not much else you really can say. They don't have any other options. It's do or do not. There is no try. Yeah, I got to hit you with a little bit of Yoda on that. We got to do it.
I'll take it. I'll take the Yoda all day. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. This was the Inter Miami podcast. I'm Jay Kington, joined along with Mr. Than Harrington. Yeah, man, here we are. This is it. This is what it's all about. Do or die, game time. If you don't already, check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Inter Miami Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at Inter MIA Podcast. Go ahead, subscribe to Pink Smoke. Or, if you're not in Pink Smoke and you're not in the Discord, you're seriously missing out. The Discord is so great. Probably every single day, every single hour, we're talking about something Inter Miami or other world soccer related. But check us out. As always, leave every episode. Vamos, Miami.
Vamos, Miami.